G'day guys, I'm heading out tonight again on the Foxes, just packing the car. A few of you have asked what I've been running on the roof. So this is called a NightRide. It's their Scout model. It's from a company over in America. It's a roof mounted thermal, magnetically mounts to the roof of your car. Very easy to install. That's pretty much it. I just run the cable in through the back window, put the window up nice and high so I can leave the heater on and keep it nice and warm, and plug it into my cigarette lighter. I Wi-Fi the thermal unit direct to a tablet on the dash, and with the use of this little remote control, I can control it. 360-degree pan, tilt up and down. It's a 384 core with a 17 micron, has a 1 power base lens, so it's not super duper for actual identification, but for detection it is gold. The property I'm heading out to is a long skinny property, and being one up because of COVID and everything and not having an offsider, got to be able to look out both sides of the vehicle, in front and behind, so I can potter up and down the center of that property and look out and see if there's anything that interests me. If I can't pretty much identify it with that unit, it does have zoom. Zoom's a bit so-so. They are coming out with an upgraded unit further down the track. They're going to go to a 640 and a bigger lens, so it'll have a bigger base magnification. But for what I'm doing at the moment, it is absolutely awesome. I've had it for a couple of months. Night Vision Australia are going to be stocking the units. They should have them in any day now. I'll put up some footage from tonight and we'll have a talk about it a bit later. NightRide approached me earlier this year to see if I was interested in testing out their new thermal roof mount and doing some R&D. I was pretty keen because I didn't know of anything like it in Australia, and I just hoped that it worked well. Their Aussie distributor, Night Vision Australia, promptly sent one out to me, and I couldn't wait to put it on the car and get it out in the field. Skip forward a couple of months, and after several hundred hours of use, Night Vision Australia have been terrific. The team at NightRide in America have been extremely receptive to any feedback, recommendations and tweaks that I've put forward or sent their way. As you saw in the intro, it's very easy to install, runs off 12-volt power and magnetizes straight to the roof of the vehicle or to any other metal part that you choose to. The magnets are super strong and come with protective stickers so it doesn't damage your paintwork. I've tested it in all sorts of conditions, on bumpy roads, off-road, in the bush and in the paddock, up to 100 kilometers an hour on the freeway. I've had it out in the rain, the fog, the wind, the sleet, very cold conditions. It's performed flawlessly so far. It doesn't really like fog, but not many thermals do. It degrades a picture a lot. The specs on the unit are, it's a 384 core with a 17 micron, has a 13mm lens and a 1x base magnification. So far it's exceeded my expectations of what I thought the image quality was going to be like, especially when it comes down to animal detection. I've been able to detect heat sources of the smaller animals, rabbits, foxes, hares, etc., out to 300, 400, 500 meters depending on the conditions, and the larger animals well out to the 1,000 meter plus mark. Once again, that is detection of a heat source. Obviously the bigger the heat source, the easier it is to detect at distance. Now when it comes to actual identification, well, that's a different story altogether. Rabbits and so forth, I would say realistically out to about 100 meters. Out past that, I have identified foxes out to a couple of 100 meters, sometimes 250, 300 meters on their movement. But generally that's when it's really good conditions. Larger animals like pigs, roos, sheep, deer and cattle, 500 meters is not unrealistic. Wi-Fi connection. It's a pretty big moo point with a lot of people. It probably has one of the most stable Wi-Fi connections I've used. I've had a couple of hiccups actually getting it to recognize the device. The best way to overcome that is to forget the device on Wi-Fi, reboot both the Wi-Fi and the thermal device, re-enter the password to connect to the device, which is usually good to go. There are two viewing platforms. You can either run it through the NightRide app, which gives you a few more features, or you can put the IP address into your browser and connect that way. Neither require an internet connection or mobile service to work. The Scout does come with onboard recording. You have the option of letting it loop in the background and continually record, or you can override that by pushing the record button and manually recording a specific event. You can turn the background recording off. All manually recorded events download automatically to the device which you're displaying it on. Over the last few months, I've used the Scout on a multitude of properties, some of which were as small as 5 acres where I was stationary and just scanning about, others of which were up to 6,000 and 8,000 acres where I was driving approximately 50 kilometres on property a night. In both situations, I've found the Scout to be of huge benefit in detecting animals. The convenience of driving around in the vehicle and having all the windows up except for a little gap where the cable comes in, and not getting wet and keeping warm has just been, pretty prestige. I also like the fact that I can hold the little remote control just in my lap and control the device from there and watch the screen. I don't have to worry about having my arm up in the air all night, holding onto a spotlight handle to control a roof-mounted handheld. I don't have the mozzies and the moths trying to fly into the well-lit screen on the dashboard, and it frees up the use of my handheld to be able to walk away from the vehicle whenever needed. The NightRide Scout is now available. You can contact Night Vision Australia. They're retailing for $4,399. If you quote the code RJM100, you'll be pleased to know that you get $100 off. Just a little bit of support that Night Vision Australia are putting out there for all my followers. If there's anything else you wanted to know, please feel free to ask me in the comments. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll catch up with you guys again soon.